Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us here today. I'm Scott Johnson, your county manager here in Columbia County, joined today by Kyle Titus. Kyle's our Director of Engineering Services, over a lot of things engineering in the county, but one of the main things you're over is traffic and roads.
That's correct.
So we're going to be talking a little bit about the upcoming SPLOST list, but before we get into that, Kyle, I really wanted the viewers to understand exactly how traffic is funded in Columbia County. We have a lot of projects going on all over the county. Sometimes I hear traffic's our number one concern or number one problem, but we're working really hard to try to kind of beat that image. But talk about some of the funding sources outside of SPLOST, and then we'll get into the SPLOST project.
Sure. So we have a few other funding sources outside of SPLOST. One would be the TIA or the T-SPLOST, the Transportation Special Local Option
That's a dedicated penny just for transportation.
That's right. That's a regional penny dedicated just for transportation. We also have the LMIG, or the Local Maintenance Improvement Grant through GDOT. That's specifically for maintenance projects throughout the county that are identified annually. And then we also have MPO money, or Metropolitan Planning Organization money, which is also a region. We're part of the ARTS region, the Augusta Regional Transportation section of that. And that's more of a hybrid funding source where we're able to get federal funding dollars that way.
And a lot of people may say, you know what, if you're getting millions of dollars through those other three funding sources, you know, why do you really need to put projects on a SPLOST list? Why, you know, the money that could be dedicated for a park or could be dedicated for, you know, building a new community center or something like that, you know, transportation is expensive, obviously. So why do we need it on SPLOST?
So I would say the big reason we need it on SPLOST is because the TIA, which is probably the biggest transportation funding source, all those projects are voted on in advance by the region. Now Columbia County will submit a lot more projects than get approved, but only a portion of the projects that we submit that we need are approved. So we still have some outstanding projects that we need to get approved or get funded. So that would be the big thing. The LMIG, or the Maintenance Improvement Grant, is more of a maintenance. The SPLOST is a way to fund some of these capital projects that are identified, that are warranted, that are needed outside of TIA.
Yeah, and TIA is a 10-year program, right?
That's
so
correct.
We planned that a couple of years ago. We've got 10 years of collections. We have to do the projects that have already been planned. So we have additional projects that need to be done. So talk to us a little bit about some of the projects. I know one of them is right here in the background of where we're shooting today on top of the Maybon building, but tell us about a couple of the projects that we have on the SPLOST list coming up.
Sure. So to your point, the project that we're overlooking now is the Evans Downtown Improvement Project. It's basically taking the corridor from Evans Town Center Boulevard to Bel Air, along Evans to Locks Road, and improving it, doing a beautification, adding some sidewalks to improve connectivity. We're also doing the same thing, looking to do the same thing from Evans to Locks to Evans Town Center Boulevard along North Bel Air Road, to basically make the plaza area more walkable, also more aesthetically pleasing to our community. One of the big parts of that project is installing a mini roundabout right here, this four-way stop at Evans Town Center Boulevard and Evans to Locks Road. I know if you ever go through there, especially during AM peak or PM peak hours, the lines tend to get long through that four-way stop. That would alleviate a lot of that delay and queuing up in at that intersection. So more projects that we're excited about. We're looking to do a connector road between Chamberlain Road and Horizon South, to hopefully allow some of that traffic along Chamberlain coming from Canterbury Farms, an alternate route. Instead of having to go north to William Few Parkway or south to Wrightsboro Road, it allows them to carry straight through directly to Horizon South to the Gateway Boulevard Shopping Center area.
That's an interesting project, because I think if you live in that area and you needed to get downtown to the medical district, or if you were maybe working at one of the sites outside of Columbia County, you know, you'll be able to shoot down that new connector, cross over the Gateway Boulevard, get on Wrightsboro Road, and get downtown without ever having to get on Washington Road or I-20 or Fury's Ferry or some of our other more traveled roads. Yeah, talk about, so we moved out to Canterbury, but we've got some projects out even further out in the county. I know we have some needs out there as well. Ray Owens Road is
Ray Owens at White Oak Road is a safety project, it's an improvement project. There's poor sight distance, vertical and horizontal sight distance that's been identified for several years now. So this would help fund an improvement project at that intersection to realign some sections and to improve some grades through that intersection. Absolutely.
Yep. So, you know, we're constantly doing upgrades. I know Washington Road was a SPLOST project. That was one we talked about a lot. It was a little before you got here, but we talked about that project a lot because although it's a state road, the state funding for that project would have been, I believe, in 2035. So we'd still be waiting on Washington Road were it not for SPLOST to SPLOST to go to get Washington Road up and running. And I think the projects that we have on the list now be the same way. A lot of them are on state roads or across the state road, or when we have to have the funding now because the state really just doesn't have the ability to do it. And correct me if I'm wrong, I want to make sure that I don't say this wrong, but I can't remember in a long time, if ever in my tenure, where we've ever used any property tax dollars for transportation. Do you remember any time we've ever done that?
No, sir.
I think everything we do is through sales tax or through, like you said, the state programs, the MPO.
And another thing is the majority of our staff in road construction and pre-construction for roadway projects are funded through SPLOST or T-SPLOST.
Right. So their salaries, part of their salaries are paid for that.
That's correct.
Are paid with that funding. And that's an allowable expenditure in SPLOST.
That's right.
And then they oversee the projects that they're building
That's
with
correct.
the SPLOST funds.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Now I'll just say we know that transportation can be inconvenient sometimes, especially through the construction projects, but we really appreciate your patience. Please bear with us. We have a good staff. We have some good contractors that we're working with, and we're trying to get these jobs done as quickly as we can for you. So thank you for your patience.
Yeah. Well, Kyle, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your attentiveness to these videos and wanting to see what's going on with the SPLOST in Columbia County. Don't forget to like, follow, and share all of our videos, and we'll see you again soon.